So we're going to be talking about laws against snowballs, laws against catapults, laws against cannibalism, and laws against bagels, amongst other things. You can eat one of them, the other one you can't.
Okay.
We're going to talk about all of those things in today's episode. I'm Joshua Roberts, attorney at law, and you are watching Lawyer Up. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at some of the strange and crazy laws that exist around the United States. Some of them are funny, some of them are odd, but all of them are at least very interesting. And we are coming to you today from Grayson Roberts' apartment. As you can see, our background here is basically his living room.
Yep.
So in the days of COVID, we are doing what we can with the types of studios that we have available to us. So we did a podcast format, Lawyer Up, recently. It was a lot of fun. So we decided it would be fun to do this in kind of a podcast format. We're going to talk a lot about crazy laws. Grayson hasn't heard or seen any of these, so We're going to have kind of a reaction video. For those of you who don't know, Grayson is the producer of Lawyer Up, so we've got him on this side of the camera again, and thanks for joining us, Grayson.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, I want to be a podcaster, full-time YouTuber. I ride BMX bikes, and if you have seen my face before, it's probably from reacting to something. So if you're coming over from my channel, my podcast, or whatever, you're probably pretty excited right now because you guys know my reactions can get pretty crazy. But I mean, it's not my channel, right? So we don't want to get his channel completely blocked. So we're going to keep it pretty tame. Do have the gavel, though, so watch out for that.
We have the gavel, and we will try not to get banned from YouTube.
Yes.
So anyway,
I'm pretty good about being on other people's channels. I was real good last video.
You were.
So
You kept
really
it.
good.
You kept it together. So remember, if you're new to my channel, or even if you're not, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Same with Grayson Roberts' YouTube channel. It's easy to find. You can just type in Grayson Roberts. His channel pops up.
I'll link it below. Honestly, I'll just link my podcast. Because if you like this, you'll like the podcast. Because he'll be on it.
Hey, There you go. So, and then we've got merch available at bossindustries.co. Link in the description below.
Yep.
So without further ado, are you ready for our first one?
I am.
All right. This law comes to us from Topeka, Kansas, a neighbor
Not too far.
Of ours from Missouri. So after an incident where some public officials were pelted with snowballs, they passed an ordinance making it illegal to throw any, and I'll quote, to throw any snowballs at any person or property in Topeka. So there's a law against throwing snowballs at any person or property.
That's ridiculous. I mean, they don't hurt. I mean, come on. How much of a baby does a public official have to be? He's like, don't throw snowballs at me. I mean, come on, toughen up. Some people just having some fun. Throw them back. Stand up for yourself. Snowball fight.
Throw them back, right?
Throw them back.
Well, and it's not even limited to public officials. It says it against any
that's
any
ridiculous.
person.
The public officials were that upset about snowballs.
They passed a little ordinance that prohibits it. So
crazy.
presumably that applies to everybody, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the bad news is in the winter, you're going to have your jails full of 8-year-olds with red noses, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess the good news is that the evidence melts pretty quickly, and then you got to let them all.
True.
You got to let them out, and you got to let them go home, right?
True. Yep.
So anyway, that's Topeka, Kansas's weird law.
That's really close and really weird, and I feel like it is probably not enforced.
Yeah, it'd be hard to enforce.
It'd be really hard to enforce.
So, yeah.
I mean, what do? Do you chase an 8-year-old? Do you pull out your taser?
Well, now there's an idea. I have run across many an 8-year-old I'd like to tase.
Yeah.
I've never done it, but you'd like to.
Yeah. Now's the time.
All right. We're moving on. The next strange, weird, and bizarre law we have comes from Aspen, Colorado, which is kind of on the other side of Kansas. Not too far. So
And where Dumb and Dumber 1 took place.
All right. Well, hey, wow. You know your movie history.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think was that nonfiction? I think it was.
Yeah, I don't know. That was when they were riding the moped and they peed and it froze both of them to the seat and they were on the way to Aspen. Yeah,
that was good. Yeah, that's right. You got a good memory. I don't remember that specifically, but good movie. So here it is. Now, it is illegal in Aspen, Colorado to launch anything by Catapult.
Really?
That's it. Just anything by Catapult. So I don't know.
That might make sense. I mean, if you're hurling random objects over who knows what, I mean, that might make sense. Catapult. I don't know.
Well, I don't know the backstory, but most of these, have some sort of a reason why they would be made illegal.
I would love to hear the backstory of the Catapult ban.
I would assume, and I don't know, Aspen is very wooded. It's a ski resort town, but I assume it's some guys out in the woods, probably drunk, with a spring-loaded something.
Yeah.
And one of those guys gets launched into Utah. So,
yeah, maybe.
And the other guy's like, oh, crap. And somebody along the lines, after that guy gets out of the hospital and they put him back together, they Humpty Dumpty that guy. Probably somebody said, we probably ought to make that illegal.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but I assume
I'd love to hear the story behind
it. It had something to do with drunk guys in the woods. That's the way a lot of laws get passed these days. So moving on to the next one. Idaho. They have an anti-cannibalism statute. So they're the only state out of the 50 states that actually criminalize eating other human beings.
The ones that actually had to say, whoa, people. What are you doing?
Is that, what are you having for breakfast?
We shouldn't have to say this.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, it's a good law to have.
It's a good law to have.
I mean, it sucks that you have to say it, but I mean, I feel like everywhere should maybe have it after. Do you know the story behind that one?
I don't, but you say, hey, what are you having for breakfast? Dave.
Dave.
You're having Dave for breakfast? You can't do that. It's illegal.
Oh
no, I don't know. I mean, obviously, murder is illegal in all 50 states. And, there's a lot of, all 50 states have abuse of a corpse or abandonment of a corpse. You can, if you run across a dead body, you can't just leave it. In most states, you have a law that says abandonment of a human corpse is illegal. You got to report it and you got to do something about it. So anyway, I don't know, but the specific statute has outlawed non-consensual human consumption.
Oh, okay.
So if you have consent, presumably you can eat the person. Now you can't eat them.
I'll put that on my driver's license.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like an organ donor card. You're like, if somebody wants to have my liver with some onions, then they can. So you can't eat them if they're alive because that would be murder, right?
Yeah,
so you're not going to. So this is only going to be after they pass away, and so I write a lot of wills.
Yeah.
So I suspect in there you could give your body to Dave.
Yeah, I mean,
for breakfast.
I guess so.
I don't know.
I feel like there's some sort of regulation, or someone's gonna be like, "All right, weirdo, we're gonna put a stop to this."
Yeah, as long as you consent, maybe it's okay. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll put that in the will. Have a new paragraph. It says, I donate my body after my death for use as a snack. So, I don't know. But anyway, that is Idaho's anti-cannibalism statute.
I'm staying out of Idaho if it's a problem. Bad enough to where I have to say something.
You don't want to be eaten, right?
No, I don't want to go to Idaho. I'm staying out.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, there's 49 other states you can go to and not be eaten.
Yeah.
All right. So Galveston, Texas. Now that's down on the ocean, right? Galveston. And then there's Galveston Beach. It's in the Gulf. You're familiar with Panama City Beach. Yeah. Destin, Navarre, Pensacola Beach. They've got a town, and then there's usually a bridge out to a little island area. Or an island. I don't know if it's a peninsula, but they've got the little.
Well, aren't islands completely surrounded by water? Like Navarre's a peninsula.
Hey, that's I think that's right.
All right.
So there you go. See, good job.
I know my vacations.
You know your peninsulas. So in Galveston, Texas, it is illegal to throw any object or litter, specifically, out of an aircraft, which makes sense.
Duh.
Now I don't know. The aircrafts that I've been on, of course, are, you're flying at 30,000 feet and you're going 500 miles an hour.
Yeah.
350 to 500, depending upon the size of it. And I can't roll down my window.
That probably doesn't apply to like a 747.
It would be hard to just be over that little bitty stretch going, I don't know if you roll your little window down. And you got a pressurized cabinet, so
Not
cabinet, but
I
cabin.
see a lot of videos of people in the little crop dusters or the little private planes, and they'll be in the cockpit and they'll open the window and stick their phone out and just go. Their phone just gets sucked out of their hand. They open the window and try to take a photo out the window, and then the air, obviously, because like when you stick your hand out of a car window, it's like crazy pressure. Yeah, imagine going through a plane. I love those videos. They just suck it, and then people they're just so bummed out. What do you expect? Let's stick your hand out of an airplane.
Well, that would probably explain where that comes from.
Yeah.
And there's those beach towns. They have those low flying planes with the little banners behind them and saying
They're like one of those planes that people are sticking their arms out of and losing stuff.
And you probably got some 20-something kid that just flies a plane for a living, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
And they're throwing their cigarette wrappers out the window or whatever.
I got a couple friends who fly planes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's probably, these guys that are flying the little things, banners that say, $19.99 all you can eat lobsters at.
Oh, that sounds good right now.
At the Krusty Krab tonight.
Lobsters are gluten-free.
So are they?
No, yeah. I mean, they're just natural seafood, right? Unless you put some crazy spices on it, just lobster. Same thing with like steak and stuff,
I don't know a lot about gluten, but I know this dude hates gluten.
I hate it.
He hates gluten. So anyway, that is the illegal law in Galveston, Texas. You can't throw litter out of an aircraft. Yeah. Probably with good reason.
Yeah, probably.
Moving on to the next one. This is Wyoming. Comes to us from the great state of Wyoming. It is illegal to purchase metal, rubber, rags, or paper from an intoxicated person.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's got to be a backstory there. I don't know what it is.
Great backstory.
Illegal to purchase metal, rubber, rags, or paper from an intoxicated person.
Okay.
So that would be your no junk from drunks law, right?
That's what it's called?
No, I just made that up.
That's
so
what it should
you
be
can't
called.
buy metal, rubber, rags, or paper. I don't have any idea.
That is strange.
Where that comes
this?
from. It's
Wyoming?
I assume, if I was going to guess, there's been panhandler litigation for years about people trying to outlaw panhandling.
Yeah.
And then they'll pass an ordinance, and then they'll get it appealed to the Supreme Court, and a lot of Supreme Courts have sided with panhandlers, saying, "Hey, it's you've got freedom of speech. You can do that." And so I don't know the backstory on this one, but then they came along and they've tried to regulate panhandling in other ways.
Yeah.
And it's saying, well, you can't give anything to a panhandler. You can't just give them money. Mm-hmm. Some places have passed ordinances. And so I assume you could say, I didn't give him any money. I bought this piece of crap he was carrying. I bought this rag. I bought that hunk of metal from him. I gave him $10 for his, this rag or whatever. So who knows? Yeah. Who knows if that's what's going on here? I
bet that's true. People find loopholes and almost everything.
Yeah, probably saying, well, no, I'm buying something from this guy.
It's kind of smart.
He didn't need this piece of metal anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I gave him $10. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but it's
that's probably that is
right. That is the weird law of Wyoming. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is Mississippi, and this is fairly recent, and this made national news. So the governor of Mississippi signed a law prohibiting cities from enacting ordinances that limit food and drink portion sizes. Now, this does come from a backstory, or does come with a backstory.
Sweet.
Now, in New York City, I don't know if you remember this, but this was back in 2013. Michael Bloomberg, who was the mayor of New York City at that time, he signed off on an ordinance that restricted sugary beverages at restaurants and convenience stores. You couldn't buy a drink bigger than 16 ounces. And it was the big gulp ban, as they said, no big gulps.
I've heard of that actually. I've actually heard of this. Yeah.
So in response it's a crazy law. I mean, if I want to drink 20 ounces of Coke, I'm an American. I should have the ability to do that.
As much damn Coke as you want.
I would say so. They don't put a limit on beer. I mean, they don't put a limit on vodka.
True, very true.
So
couldn't you just buy 2 16 ounces?
I don't know. I don't know if you could buy them, at more than 2 at a time. Maybe there was a limit on that. And then it said at restaurants. So is that no refills? because most of your big
ridiculous.
glasses they're 16 ounces.
Yeah.
So. Anyway,
That's ridiculous.
I don't know what time period that's over either. But anyway, it was a ridiculous law in New York City. And of course, the response was, admittedly
New York City
somewhat.
or Mississippi?
No, well, okay, let's straighten this up. New York City passed the ban.
Oh, okay.
And so Mississippi's governor signed a law prohibiting cities from enacting ordinances limiting.
Oh, that's
food
right.
and
I
drink
just
portion
looked at
sizes.
your
So,
notes and
yeah.
said, I've been trying not to look, but I can't read your handwriting anyway. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I can't either. So we're just
Well,
kind of
yeah.
winging this.
Yeah.
So
Need Candace for this.
Yeah, no kidding. Yes, my paralegal for the past 21 years. She's helpful. She reads my handwriting.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So we're getting off topic.
Here we are. Oh, anyway.
But what were we? I need a 18-ounce drink. No, wait, that's illegal
That's ridiculous.
in New York City. No, anyway, yeah. So
what's
that's
16
the point.
ounces?
So
Like a large from.
a can is 12 ounces. So a can of beer, a can of pop.
Oh, wow.
Is 12 ounces. So 16
like a
ounces
large
is-
soda would be banned from like almost anywhere.
Yeah, we see those half liters of
Yeah.
Mountain Dew and whatnot. That would be, you couldn't buy those in New York City, presumably. So,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy.
That's
So-
ridiculous.
But anyway, so Mississippi, New York City goes skinny, Mississippi goes fat.
Yeah.
And that was the play. And, the
New
governor.
York, there's so many people. You got to be skinnier to fit through all these. There's people rubbing against each other.
Well, that's
Mississippi, it's more spread out. You can have more body real estate.
yeah, you've got, you don't want to have, people smashing into each other.
Your subways, you would not be able to get on the subway if everybody's fat in New York. Then you just you get like half as many people in there.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
you'd have to lubricate everybody, just slide them
butter
in,
them up.
and then that's awkward in and of itself.
yeah.
So that's too many people to lube up. So that is Mississippi's anti-skinny governor law there. Next, moving on to Arkansas, who is just south of us. Now,
Yeah, I go to Arkansas all the time.
I love this one. So it is a law that prohibits mispronouncing the name of Arkansas.
Arkansas.
They have a state law. So yeah.
What?
So
really?
you can't say, and I assume it's more for show than it is for actual enforcement.
Yeah,
but you can't
geez.
say Arkansas.
That is
Some people
ridiculous.
say Arkansas. They
Arkansas,
pronounce the
okay, yeah.
the S on the end. The S, of course, is Arkansas is like, hey, the S is silent, MFer. The S is silent. On
That
the
is
end.
crazy.
So it's Arkansas, not SAW, but Arkansas. Yeah,
Silent S for
so,
some reason, yeah.
Anyway, so so they have a state law saying don't mispronounce our name. It's not Arkansas.
That is crazy.
It's not Arkansas. It's Arkansas.
That is ridiculous.
So, if you're in Arkansas, you do not want to put the emphasis on the wrong syllable, or you could wind up in the jailhouse. And that would be bad.
That would be bad.
Arkansas-
That's might actually be the most ridiculous one. There's been some ridiculous ones, but that might be
That's pretty ridiculous.
that's ridiculous.
Arkansas as a state, as a whole, is sometimes pretty ridiculous.
Stand on the border and scream Arkansas. Can't touch you.
Hey, that's right. You're untouchable. I am untouchable.
Exercise your rights.
What's fun about the center of the United States is we make fun of the state below us. So everybody that's below us is more, backwards than we are.
Yeah.
And so, Iowa, they make fun of us, but we make fun of Arkansas. Arkansas makes fun of Louisiana, and so it goes, right? So, but we draw the line at the bottom of our state, which just happens to be Arkansas.
Yeah.
So going back to New York City again with some ridiculousness, we have a law. It's called an altered bagel tax. So there's an 8-cent sales tax on any altered bagel. And they define that as sliced, toast, or having any type of a topping. So I guess if you slather it in cream cheese, then there's a tax. So
This is the weirdest one.
it's weird. It's definitely weird. And so if your bagel, if you just buy it completely untouched, then there's no tax on it. But if you
so
you do
weird.
anything to it, if you slather it or lube it or molest it in any way,
Okay.
then you have a situation where there's a tax on it. So I don't know
That's crazy.
what I don't know how you enforce that exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
That show Law and Order. Have you seen that Special Victims Unit?
Yeah.
You could have Law and Order Special Bagels Unit, where they go out And it was that donk donk. We haven't even done that yet. You know that sound that show makes? Donk donk.
Yeah, but it's not going to...
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah.
That's more realistic. This is more kind of synthesized.
Yeah, they have more bass on theirs,
Yeah, it's cool. And then
I know exactly.
Say, Special Bagels Unit. These are their stories. Where they go out and they bust people that aren't paying the bagel tax or whatever. Well, and this is another one. I don't know the backstory.
Imagine losing your business for not charging a bagel tax.
But I don't know the backstory, but I assume. Now, so this doesn't tax bagels that are untouched. So I assume there's a group of people who make bagels on a lot of bagels, a whole bunch of
bagel purity.
Your wholesalers, your wholesalers, and then they sell these bagels to the guys. You've got vendors on the streets, you've got little bagel shops and stuff, and they probably make them for $1. They sell them for $3, and these guys are charging like $10 a bagel.
Yeah,
those guys probably said, "Hey, you need to get together and tax these MFers, right?"
Yeah.
And the guy from the city's like, "Oh, okay, tax bagels." He's like, "No, don't tax me. I'm a wholesaler. I'm selling them uncut. You need to tax these guys because they're marking it up. They're putting a little, cream cheese on there, and they're charging $10 for it." So I don't know what happened, but
even that situation's even ridiculous.
Yeah. You probably have these guys that are selling bagels wholesale saying, "Hey, tax these other guys."
Yeah, that's wild.
I don't know that to be a fact. I don't know the backstory on this, but anyway.
Bagel feuds, jeez.
It's a bagel tax, yeah. Well,
tough industry.
It's New York City. They fight about everything.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on. We got a couple of more.
Cool.
Crazy, weird, and bizarre laws. This one comes from, and this one I picked just because of you. This one comes from Illinois, a city in Illinois, and they were having a problem with skateboarders and BMXers riding in their city, and so they outlawed BMXing in commercial areas, and that is not uncommon. We see that.
I figured that was kind of everywhere.
So it is everywhere. But what was kind of funny and how this made the list was the way that they articulated the law, the way they wrote it down in the books, is they obviously don't know a whole lot about skateboarding or BMXing.
They usually don't.
So
they call ramps slopes.
Slopes, yeah.
And inclines.
Well,
Shut up.
They are, but so they, and this is the BMX portion of it that I thought you would find amusing. So they prohibited, and I'm going to quote this, fancy riding of bicycles on city streets or commercial areas, including removing hands from the handlebars.
Okay, that's bar spin.
Feet from the pedals.
Tail whip.
Or any other acrobatic maneuvering.
It's honestly kind of flattering. I'm a fancy acrobat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
that is hilarious, actually.
I suppose some of the other things, if you kept your hands on the handlebars and you're, grinding on something, you keep your feet on the pedals, right, and your hands on the handlebars.
I could do all sorts of fancy acrobatic tricks without taking feet or hands off.
Well, you can't be acrobatic. It says that's prohibited.
Oh, true.
It's just I guess you have to suck at it.
I guess, yeah.
So I could do that.
Yeah, I know.
I could suck at BMX.
Crew of people would be able to go ride wherever they want in that town.
It's not acrobatic, so you can't give me a ticket for it. All right.
That's actually hilarious.
That's a good one. And we've come to our last crazy, weird, and bizarre law for this episode. This comes from Rock Hill, Maryland, where it is illegal to swear or curse on any street or highway.
That's weird.
Damn.
That's really weird.
So you can't, I guess that would throw kind of a rock into road rage.
Yeah, it would.
I don't know how you enforce that.
I guess if a cop pulls you over and you're pissed off and you say something, he can
write you a ticket for that.
Write you an extra ticket.
That makes sense.
Maybe that's the way to just be like, hey, don't yell at our cops.
Don't cuss at our cops. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're
freedom of speech, though, right? I mean, you can say whatever the hell you want.
That's a pretty good argument. I guess if you're in front of the judge and the judge says, "Well, how do you plead?" You say, "Well, not guilty, damn it."
Yeah, freedom of speech.
Hey, and they maybe have a cuss jar on the judge's bench.
Yeah.
Like, put $10 in the cuss jar.
That's an expensive cuss jar. I'd be broke.
So it's not a fine. It's just the judge's, his cuss jar.
His cuss jar.
I don't think judges, they should take tips.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you put a tip in the tip jar, man? Hey, I'm here all week putting people in jail. I just thought that's not cool. That's probably bribery or something like that.
Probably.
I don't know. But anyway, so that is we hit 10 different weird, bizarre laws that we have here in the United States.
Those are wild.
So
that was really funny.
That is the episode. I want to thank you guys for watching. Give us some feedback on this. Do you like the new format that we're trying out here? The podcast format's a little different than what we have done before, but we're trying to have, moving into a new season of Lawyer Ups, trying to have a little bit of fun with these episodes. We have some fun stuff coming up. We've got another one of these strange laws coming up. We're going to do some reaction videos to some funny lawyer commercials, and we're going to continue to give you the legal information that you need to know, including updates coming up soon on the what we project to be a stimulus package under the new administration after the first of the year. So be sure that you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share me on social media. We appreciate, I didn't say that word right. We appreciate you watching. I'm Joshua Roberts, and you have been watching Lawyer Up.